We're getting to OpenAI stuff, but just so you know, if you like this kind of content, this is part of a larger episode called the Sit Rep. It's a weekly 25-minute video for all the other things. This is one of usually 5 to 10 different stories. Cool. With OpenAI, we've been excited and waiting for something to come out, and they just put this video out about 19 hours ago.
I'm Romain from OpenAI. Today I want to show you a quick look at an early...
No, we're not going to watch that. It's going to be too long. You can go watch that yourself. But the gist of it is they've added in this ability to basically connect different apps. So if you've used other tools in the past, you typically have a Copilot that's native to the product. What's different about this is it's using an extension that you install into, in the case of VS Code, to get context of whatever it is that you're looking at. So it can do one window, it can do multiple windows, but it has to see the window. So you can already kind of guess one of the main cons if you're a programmer to that limitation is it doesn't allow you to get full context, which I just think is wild. And so let's take a look at some of the other areas. You can see here that it has terminal, iTerm, Xedit, and Xcode. I think this is going to be the biggest win for Xcode. And if you want to keep up with all the updates from the actual creator of this, Alexander Imberikos is the head of the chat desktop app, and they did launch a lot of stuff as well in tandem that allows it to just run better. This was a super laggy app before, and now it's very quick. So you'll notice here at the bottom there's this big old new icon, and when you click on it, it'll pop up and it'll show you work with beta. So if you don't have this, what you can do is just update your app. So I believe that is in the top left. You just hit check for updates. I think this is available on Windows as well. I'm not a Windows user. And when you go in for the VS Code one, I'll give a quick demo of it. What I had to do was on the blog that they posted, there's a file that you download, and you basically download that file and then you run a command. So I'll just show you how that works. We'll just go into the article here and let's see if we can't see this. Work with apps on Mac OS. Cool. Exactly what we're looking for. If you don't have ChatGPT Plus, you need that. It's also available for team users. But here's all the options. Kind of covered that. It has the context of the windows. You can also select snippets. If you don't select anything, it's just going to see what's available on the screen. And you basically go and there's a download link in here and you download it. And then in VS Code, you will do Command-Shift-P or open the command palette and then do extensions, install from V6. That's the extension type. So a couple steps to get it up and running. Wish that was easier. But that allows you to get this extension that then makes it work. So let's do a quick demo of it just to show. So in this case, I have an Electron app, and I made this by two-shotting with O1 and had a really good prompt. And if you want to make stuff like this, that'll be part 2 of this chat, which is this agent that I built, this agent flow. Gotta get a little coffee. And in here, what this Electron app was doing was I had a bunch of different desktop or SSDs that I just wanted to be able to see them in the top right Mac bar and just be able to eject all of them at once instead of manually clicking. So let's open up a couple files and we'll see how it works. So in here, you would just click code and now it says working with code. And this also does work if you have the smaller toast. So you'll see the code that's loaded in there if you hover over it, and you can add more and more files. So if I say, okay, I want to have 4, then you can obviously do that. And so now I have 4. And in this case, I know that this was not working. I hadn't taken the time to actually debug it, but I know what part's not working. So I'll say you're an expert Electron developer. You are tasked with debugging our Disky app. And I'll do a couple one-liners that are very terse. And the goal is to say what the role is. So it's like a system prompt in line 1. And then the second one would be what that task is of the role. The third one is the goal of the task. So in this case, we want to make it so that when you do hit eject on all, because currently this app lets you see all the different disks as well as phones, basically any connection. We want to make sure that it actually does that job and logs it out. So currently our expected outcome for users is that they can select the Disky icon in their Mac bar. And when they do that, they can view all of the attached disks, SSDs, hard drives, and there's an option to click eject all. We want to make sure that this is logged out and done in a safe way. So what I just did there too as a tip, oops, didn't hit escape, was I just entered voice mode, and that's just done in dictation through the Mac settings. It's really good. And I'll just hit enter and let's see. Now, the first thing I want to say about this is before it even gives me an answer, let's assume that it's awesome. I just don't love that it's all this copy pasta. I think it's a double-edged sword because a lot of the time when you do have something that's in line, say we were using Klein or we were using Continue or we were using Cursor or Aider, any of those tools, it just kind of, and you don't watch it. You may try to force yourself to do it, but a lot of the time, unless you're very disciplined, like, get lazy and those muscles atrophy. So I think on the side of like being bullish on this product or this solution is before you go and you do the copy paste, just mentally make a note to actually read what it's outputting. So it looks like we need to update this function. So then what I would do is, I haven't looked at this code in a while, so I would just do Command-Shift-O, and then I'll type in get external, and that's not even it, so I'll do this, get external drives. Where is that file? That's in the tray. So it looks like it added some stuff here. Do a quick scan to see what it actually did. plist external, cool, if error, looks like it's the same. Right, it basically wrapped it in a try-catch, and that's fine. And then it also for this menu item, so I'll grab that and then we'll just dump that in there. Okay. And then for the reasons, it says, okay, cool, we validated that the tray icon's there. Great, we did these logs, cool. And we're using 4.0. Probably be better with 01 preview, but I like to do that stuff for architecture and I don't want to burn through those. Update create menu items to handle empty or missing devices gracefully. So let's find what file, you know, what I'd like to see is that this would be the file name. That seems like a very obvious thing. If it has the context, I get that the language is important. This is just a standard heuristic that you see, but I would like to see the actual file name in there rather than having to explicitly say, hey, this is what we're doing, and telling it, because everyone has the same problem. So now we have this one. Where's that? Create menu items. It looks like it handled those empty things. What is it actually doing though? Just added this label change. So nothing different. Again, I'd like to see the file name and I'd like to see the diffs, because what we're doing right here, and while you're waiting, eagerly waiting for me to get to the next thing, you got to go through it and see what is the difference, and you're looking back and forth. So that's pretty annoying. And then eject volume to log. Let's see where eject volume is. Or it's a function. Now I just added logging with a bunch of ifs. Interesting, it's actually deleting a bunch of it too. So that's the gist of it when it comes to VS Code. I want to do a quick example. Let's try something else. Let's try with iTerm. So I know I typically use Warp. I think that this is just, there's really no reason for me to use anything else because I don't pay a dime for it. And I can just start typing natural language in the app. So I think this is kind of an L for them. I don't think it's that great. Where now I need to open this. See how it works though. And where are you, iTerm? We already did that. So now it's working with iTerm. Let's see what we can do. Let's say remove or write a last 200 lines. Interesting. So pulls in the context of the last 200 lines. Remove package and clean cache. Let's see what it does. From RF. Seems like it would put it in one line for these first two, at least. That seems weird. And I still have this added step of, cool, now I gotta go. So enough on that one. I think you kind of get where my head is at when it comes to that particular release. I think that it is helpful, but it's kind of a miss at the same time. So if you liked that clip, make sure you check out the other ones here. I got plenty on the channel. Thanks.